Hello and welcome to this video tutorial about how to assemble your three-tiered planter box kit. As you can see, here are the screws. You have all the screws you need, and this is 3. Now you're going to have 3 tiers. So these are the wood pieces for your third tier. Has everything you need, so just double checking whenever you're putting it together, make sure. And this is the brace, very important because that's going to keep your planter box legs together. Here we have 2, and as you can see, it's numbered. There are arrows, and these arrows indicate the arrow pointing up, which means they should be facing up, and the other arrow pointing into the direction of the chalkboard. And this is 1. As you can see, this is from the first tier. So we're going from the bottom up, 1, 2, and 3. So the third one is at the top. Here is your bottom from the third tier, and because the holes are there for ventilation. So now your side legs. Here you have your right side leg showing you the word right that you will see written in love. And this is your left, of course. And all of these extra wood pieces are there for you to place the tiers on to help you even better. And here you have your bottom piece from the first tier, and this is your bottom piece, of course, from the second tier. So that's that. Now let's get started. You are going to grab your right leg and you are going to hold that up, and you're going to grab your left leg. So now that you got the 2 pieces that you need, you're going to then look for your brace. Make sure those arrows are pointing up because that's the direction it needs to go. And the word brace, the writing is facing inward, not outward. Okay? We even helped you by making sure that we had a little line so that you know exactly where that brace is going to line up. So all you have to do is simply line it up right there so that you know where to put it. Then you grab your screws and you start to screw in, either your screwdriver or your hand drill, whichever works best for you. When you got those 2 screws screwed in, then you will be able to at least hold it better and firmer, because then it will be nice and firm and tight. Alright, so if all works well, you will have just assembled your very first piece. Congratulations! Awesome, awesome. So excited for you. All right, so yes, now you're going to work on your right side. You just did your left, so you're going to do your right. Again, you're going to look for that little black line that we drew to help guide you where to put it. And you can put your screws in. What we do, we screw them in by hand first, and then we screw them in with a screwdriver or the hand drill. Whichever one is best for you. Just make sure everything is lined up. Make sure the wood is facing the other wood nice and evenly so that nothing is sticking out, no wood is sticking out. And there you go. You just did both your left side and your right side. So now they will be just on that little black line on the inside, and you see that the word brace is facing on the inside, not the outside. All right, so there you go. Congratulations. Great job. Now let's start with tier 1. Now tier 1 is going to be the one that is below the bottom tier. So you have all your front, you have your sides, and you have your bottom piece. Make sure that the arrow for the bottom piece is facing you. All right, so that goes down flat. And then you're going to grab your side. Now you're going to grab your left side because the arrow again has to be facing you and facing up. And then you're going to grab your right side, arrow facing you and facing up. And then you have your back side. Again, arrow facing up. And then you're going to put everything exactly on the bottom piece of the wood. Okay? Make sure you're seeing the word bottom. Okay, because then you know everything is facing inside. Then you grab your screws, like you see, I screw them in with my hand first just to make sure that they're in there. Much easier instead of just doing it the old-fashioned way. So I'm sure that you're doing a great job nonetheless. And make sure that wood is even to the other wood. We called it flush. All right, make sure that's evenly against, nothing is sticking out, everything is nice and straight and tight and to the point. And then you are going to grab your nifty screwdriver and screw that in or drill. Now you have that in, Great job. Now we're going to work on the other side, the right side. Okay? So now you're going to line that up. You're going to, just like the arrows, making sure all the arrows are up and sideways the way they're supposed to be, and double check that you have the one pieces because you're working on tier 1. Okay? Grab your screwdriver, screw that in as tight as you possibly can without breaking the wood. So, and now you'll have these two pieces together. Awesome job. Now the top is firm but the bottom still moves, so you just have to move it out. Now you grab your front piece. This is the piece with the chalkboard on it. Make sure that that arrow is pointing up and that you're holding it up. Also, a little trick is that we painted the top black, so even if you get a little confused, just look for the black. Screw in those screws and you are ready to continue the fun with screwing them in. So again, make sure the bottom is also straight because remember the top is still but the bottom can move. So when you got that screwed in, boom, 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 you're going to move to the other screw, the final screw for the top. All right, hold that together, screw that in, and then you will be done. Yes, see how easy and fun? Awesome. So now you have all top 4 screws in. Super. Now it's time to go to the bottom screws. Turn that around. You just hold it firm together and you turn it around because remember, it's loose. It's not attached as yet, right? So make sure the wood is lining up on the outside pieces very neatly so that no wood is sticking over any wood. Now you see we circled the areas where you're supposed to put the screws because we don't want you putting them, of course, in the drainage holes. And because that can get a bit confusing, we decided to simply just circle them with our nifty marker. Makes it a lot easier, right? Now, one by one, you just put those screws in and you will be ready. Now, we're just going to show you how to start. So you start with one end, all right, and then you do that, and then you do the other end because you want to get at least all the edges and all the ends basically together first before you do all the ones in the center. So you do one in the front one, you do the back one, and now you're doing one on one side, and then you're gonna make sure that's good and tight, and then you do one on the other side. Again, before you screw anything in, make sure that the wood is even, that it's not bending, that it's not moving, especially the side woods because they tend to move. So now that all of those are in place, you're now going to continue with the rest of your screws and just doing everything straight. All right, and then magic, you have just completed your very first tear. All right, have a look at it. It looks amazing, I am certain. And again, if it's going too fast, simply pause, rewind, and do it at your own pace. But I am so sure you're doing a great job. So now let's move on to tier 2. Okay, same process. You're going to repeat it. All you have to make sure is that you have all of your pieces. So again, remember you're starting with the bottom. The arrow is facing you, towards you. You have your back, so that's pointing up. You put that in the back. And then you have your right side piece. Make sure the arrow is pointing you and up. And the left side piece, make sure the arrow is pointing towards you and up. And all those pieces has to have the number 2 on them because this is your second tear. Okay? Same thing like you did before. Put those screws into the holes at the top, and then you will proceed to screwing them in. All right? Now, see, that little guy almost got away from me. But you just got to hold him firm, and you got it. So you got the 2 top. Boom, boom. You are doing awesome. Now, we are going to get to doing the front piece. All right? Everything is lined up. Make sure that arrow is pointing up, and make sure that it's placed directly where it's supposed to be placed. And then you are going to continue again. You're going to take your screw that in the hole on the right side, screw that in the hole on the left side. Then you have those 2 screwed in, and you take your nifty screwdriver or your screw drill, your drill, and you got that good. Now you have completed all the tops. Now you're going to flip that bad boy over and you are going to do the bottom. So remember, just follow the circles and only place those screws there, because you will end up just with a screw going straight through the hole if you don't. by accidentally putting it in, you guessed it, the drainage holes, and very important for plants. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, you will have magic. Boom, all screws are in. So take your time. If this is moving too fast, you just rewind. Now we have all these beautiful sides, and you have just completed your second tier. Man, you are going awesome. This is going so good. One more tier left. And double check, make sure you have the number 3 with everything. And if that's good, boom, you will have just done your final tier. And again, I know this is magic, but actually you're going to take a minute to do this. So if you need to pause, just pause before you continue. But if all works out well, you would have had 1, 2, and 3 tiers completed. And that's the second, and that's the third. Yep, that's what you did. Now, let's grab those legs, shall we? Okay, so we're going to start with the third tier. The third tier goes at the top. Make sure the back end and everything is lined up good. And if it's a little snug, just wiggle him in there. He's gonna fit great. That's what he was built for. Alright, so you see the wood pieces below help you to not make it go further than it's supposed to. So you see how that wood at the back is lining up exactly where it's supposed to go? That's how it's gonna be. Put those screws in from the side. You'll see right there where you're supposed to put them in. And then you screw them in with your hand and then your nifty screwdriver. Alright? Simple as that. Now you're gonna grab your tier 1. Not that one, because that's tier 2. This one, number 2, number 1. Yes, you need tier 1, not tier 2. Okay? So now what are you gonna do? Hey, how do you know where to put it? Now that's simple. Right on the side of the tier, we have marked where you're supposed to put it. But before you can do anything, screw that bad boy in, because the top tier, I'm letting you know from now, is going to fall if you do not do that. Fall. Yes. So now you've just screwed in both screws on the side from the top tier, which is tier number 3. And now you're going to do tier 1. See that line right there? Just that evenly on the side, on the right hand side of your side leg. Just make sure that that goes directly flush to that the line doesn't pass there. Then you know it's good. Make sure it's on that piece of helper that we have for you that it rests on. Put your screws in and then proceed to screw in the bad boys. Yes, so you have just done it. Look at that. Shake it a bit to make sure it's firm. I'm sure it is. So you just did right side. So now you're going to do the left side. You're going to feel a little bit that it's a little weighty because, yeah, it's a bit heavy. Well, these are. If you're going to do the other model that has a lighter piece of wood that we're going to be shipping overseas, we're going to use lighter wood. We have to think on the shipping size with DHL after all. So, and remember, make sure that wood is lined up directly next to the other piece of wood, which is on the side. We call it flush. Okay? Don't want that sticking out. Then there you go. Screw in one screw, screw in the second screw. It's not going anywhere, people. Nope. Hey, you don't forget the bottom, because otherwise that's going to move. So again, we drew that nifty difty helper line. You just got to look for that little line with the arrow that we have to help you, and it's right there. See, right there. Can't miss it. Make sure that that is lined up. And once that is lined up, then you put in your screws. You get that in, and then you proceed to screwing in those screws. Now, yep, again, just hold that together. Make sure it doesn't move further than it's supposed to, and then you just go to work. And then bada beam, bada boom! You have just screwed in both sides on 2 tiers, tier 3 and tier 1. What is missing? Tier 2! Yes! Now you're going to grab that again, wiggle it in. Oh, but again, that's the line that's flush next to the side line, just to show you quick. So wiggle it in case it's not wanting to behave. Take your time and you fit it, boom, and it's on. Make sure the line's lined up, just like you did the previous tiers. And you're going to grab those screws. Now, if everything is good, you're going to be almost out of screws. But we added 2 extra screws just in case you dropped one or something. Life happens, so don't worry. We got you back. Boom, boom. Now those are screwed in and looking fabulous. We are sure. I am sure you are doing awesome as always. Okay? Now, the final side. Oh my goodness. And it is almost over. Oh my. And again, remember, just stop, pause, and rewind if it's going too fast. We are not in a rush here. We just want you to have a good time. Okay? So grab those final two screws. Make sure everything is lined up. Make sure that arrow and that line is going directly next to the side. Doesn't pass it. And then boom! You're gonna screw in those last two. And guess what? You're done. Oh my gosh. You have just completed your three-tiered planter box kit into a three-tiered planter box with customized chalkboard wood with holes for drainage, and it's thick and it's nice 4 inches deep, so you can do a lot of stuff. This is the side. This is how yours is gonna look, nice and firm and straight. And remember, it's kind of weighty. That's if you're doing the ones from St. Martin, and the ones that we're gonna be shipping from here to overseas, so from St. Martin to the world basically. Those are gonna be from a lighter wood, most likely plywood. So we're gonna be using that. Now guess what? You're not even gonna see these words because you're gonna be putting the dirt and it's gonna be good, the soil. What is that hole at the bottom, you're probably wondering? Guess what? Boom! The chalkboard holder. The chalkboard holder. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my goodness, I am so excited. Make sure you send us your images. Make sure you send us your experience. Email us at made-to-order-design-stmartin@gmail.com, or check the description below for any updated email address. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and we hope you had as much of a fun time doing it as we did. Bye!